Meghan and Harry during the Commonwealth Day 2018 ceremony at Westminster Abbey. The clip is truly remarkable as it reveals how Meghan controls Harry, and even includes a moment of her unmasking. First of all, I want to emphasize that analyzing body language requires us to pay attention to reactions and changes in emotional or behavioral expressions. In this clip, Harry is initially speaking naturally and comfortably, using hand gestures to emphasize his words and interacting positively with the other person. This is his initial state. However, when Meghan intervened, everything changed. Meghan touched Harry's back and asked him to stop the conversation. This was a controlling gesture, and the change in Harry's expression showed that he knew he had to comply with Meghan's request. Harry's facial expression changes from confident to confused and worried, which shows the tension and pressure he feels when Meghan intervenes. The reason she left in a hurry was because they were in the church. Being in church gave her goosebumps, and I don't think she's been to church since they left the family. Except for the Queen's funeral. They didn't even bother to christen the baby with the stolen name. And don't tell me some kind of backyard barbecue with Tyler Perry as a christening. Interestingly, Meghan did not establish eye contact with the man Harry was talking to, but focused solely on Harry. This could be seen as an act of disrespect, and it shows that Meghan is not interested in Harry's conversation, but is only interested in getting him out of it. Harry's reaction was quick and clear. He stopped talking, looked back at Meghan, and then looked off into space to try to process the situation. This shows that Harry is used to having to comply with Meghan's requests without thinking much. This behavior did not just appear once but was repeated many times in different events, such as at an event for veterans. When this behavior was repeated, it became part of a pattern of Meghan's behavior, showing that she was constantly controlling and imposing her will on Harry. I understand that Meghan may have felt uncomfortable due to being pregnant and having to attend a long event, but the way she handled this situation seemed inappropriate and disrespectful to others. Meghan's unmasking, when she quickly changed her facial expression from a fake smile to an uncomfortable look when she no longer needed to act for the camera, also showed an aspect of insincerity and control in her personality. Because she is a narcissist, she thinks she is the most important person in the world. That concept seems completely crazy to me. There are many examples of how she behaves like in this video. It makes me sick. There was a lot of cringing. Meghan never learned good manners, etiquette, manners, empathy, or good communication skills, and it would be more appropriate for a casting room for a B movie than a public event. For someone who calls bullying specifically woman on woman, she forgot to mention that she bullied Harry's grandmother and grandfather with her disgusting accusations. She bullied a bully, an old and obviously sick queen. You can't get much lower than that. She can teach students about bullying and lying. After a lifetime of devoted service, a highly respected queen had to put an end to her days of worrying about this woman and her schemes. I would be very offended if she treated me like that, as if they didn't deserve her. I thought I would spread the word to anyone who would listen about this interaction. You can really feel her toxicity through the freaking screen. It almost feels like she's going to spit venom at you. Oh my god. I felt uncomfortable every time she put her hand behind Harry's back to control him. She does it a lot and it's gross. Seriously, who does she think she is? What man would endure that? It was not a loving touch. It's so scary. Meghan was so awkward and empty that she couldn't connect. I think that's why she hates royal engagements. On some level, she knows that people don't really want to communicate with her. I think it's all very subconscious, not just on Markle's part but on everyone else's part as well. They don't feel warmth or care from her. Instead, they feel her hypocrisy. I would have loved to have seen their faces as Meghan pulled Harry away. Wonder if they'll turn to face each other and raise their eyebrows. She smirked as she got her way and made him leave. She's really rude and difficult. Oh, and a narcissist. Who does she think she is? He was a prince of the kingdom. She had no right to pull him out of the conversation. If she wasn't feeling it, then she should have excused herself and let Harry do it. Meghan kept interfering because she was never happy to let Harry talk to anyone else. I wonder if he ever gets sick of her constantly controlling him. I don't care about that hat or that chain-patterned dress. I don't like the clothes she chooses when you know she can choose anything. Meghan is returning to her fantasy world of self-centered fake celebrity, where so much is just a pretense. Harry should have said, "Don't interrupt when I'm talking to people." That's what I do, and you get this higher status because of who I am. It's a pity he couldn't do that. Perhaps his life would have been different. Now he is a miserable version of her, and is actually under the thumb, as we saw in the clawed fist. Harry looked so lost and dumbfounded at that moment, that Meghan smirked behind his back about how pathetic and easily manipulated he was for accepting her rudely interrupting him to drag him away. It was incredible to watch. Stripping them of their titles would be like chopping off her knees. She held his hand in public and abused him in private. Can you imagine what she actually did to him behind closed doors? Meghan also nodded after biting her lip, as if saying, "Yes, I understand." She was really scary. The clenching of the jaw and the falling mask was chilling. I absolutely believe that hand gestures are not about love, but were and still are used as a control mechanism. She can't stop doing it. She now moved to grab Harry's arm. Harry doesn't listen anymore. If I were Meghan, I'd just stand next to my husband and quietly wait for the conversation to pause. He would catch my eye and ask, "What's going on?" I would never stroke his back or hold his hand to pull him out of a conversation. That's just plain rude. What surprised me was that Meghan was frequently filmed, videoed, clutching Harry's upper arm or hand or patting him on the back like a 4-year-old would do to get attention. The worst thing I've ever seen was when they were in a stadium and he took his hand off her lap and she reached out and grabbed his hand and put it back in her lap and used both hands. Cover it up. Then she turned to him with a closed smile as if to say, "There's nothing you can do because all the cameras are on us." So complacent and satisfied, so vile and hateful. She is mean and always thinks she is right. Dragging him away is also her way of controlling what he says. There are multiple clips of her cowering and staring at him and her mother as they talk, saying the wrong things or saying too much. She feels embarrassed by people associated with her if they say or do anything even remotely wrong in her opinion. No one can do the right thing as far as she is concerned. Nothing is good enough. It seems Harry simply forgot to hide his worries about upsetting Meghan, and naively expressed his thoughts about getting into trouble, like a misbehaving child. The immediate thoughts of his mother's anticipated scolding behind closed doors were clearly visible on his face. She reduced him to a childlike state. I believe narcissists do this as a means of controlling their prey. Meghan's expression right after gaining control, immediately after securing her position as bride, and again by pulling him away from the people he was happily chatting with, looked like a hunter is satisfied to have caught their prey. Domination through control and trickery seems to be her love language. She has shown herself to have no manners, to be unfaithful, to have no respect for people, to not love or respect her family, his family, her friends, and the list goes on. He's no better because a lot of the people she doesn't respect are his biological family. Terrible people. People who should be ignored forever. In my opinion, they are soulless people. The sooner we all stop acknowledging these terrible people, the better. Okay, I feel this topic is very good and there are many issues to discuss. Don't forget to comment below to let me know your opinion. Support our channel by clicking like and subscribing to the channel to watch more interesting videos. Thank you and goodbye.